Hey there, guys, and welcome again. I seem to have had some issues regarding connectivity, but hopefully things would be working well this time. um, so since we've been gone, there's been some progress on the countings as they are now on 58.9%. Just to do a refresh. Also, Gauteng is still not showing. Um, the same as KZN, still no results with Mpumalanga. And IEC should know by now, as it seems they are live, but they're speaking about some other issues.
Suggested improvements relating to the size of the party names, acronyms, and the candidates' names. So, common finding is issues related to size of the features on the ballot papers. Next slide. Now we move to evaluations of electoral staff. We first off asked a general question: are you satisfied with the quality of service that IEC officials provided to voters? Again, we're looking at 2009 right through to 2024. In the latest election, 63% said that they were very satisfied with electoral staff, with a 31% saying they were very satisfied. So the dominant perspective is one of a positive response. In terms of trends over time, we've seen slight fluctuations, but not dramatic changes over the periods of the elections we've evaluated. Okay, next. We then moved on to more an evaluation of different attributes of electoral staff, and we asked about 7 particular characteristics ranging from honesty, professionalism, impartiality, etc. A clear majority of the voting public gave the officials a positive rating on all 7 of the indicators. The one that was most positive was the helpfulness of electoral staff, where 84% said that they were helpful to a great extent. The rate of the attributes that ranked the lowest, that was impartiality, with 71% saying that this applied to a great extent, with around 8% saying that the electoral staff were not at all impartial. Okay, next. Then we asked about to what extent the voting procedure inside the station considered the needs of special groups, and we asked about 5 particular groups in this case. Firstly, 54% said that they felt that the needs of women with babies was taken into account to a great extent, with 22% saying to some extent. A similar share saying pregnant women were considered at the voting station. And again, 57% for partially sighted and blind.
I'm not sure if you guys want to listen to this, but seems like it's not really much important to what's going on currently. Habinga says I can see Gauteng on my side. I'm not sure if you're also on the system of let's see. I'm not sure if you're also checking it on their system, because as of now, a lot of people are complaining about the fact that the results are not showing. As you can see, it is not showing, but nationally we are able to tell what's going on currently. This is our national leaderboard. The ANC is going for the 4 million of the voters, and MK is growing, while EFF seems to be on that same 9%, as compared to their last 10.8%. The question would be, will the EFF gain more votes, or are they going to lose? If they lose, if they go behind 10%, it would be the first time they lose votes, they lose percentages in national elections. The ANC sitting on 41.96. Another problem for them, they go up and down, as I said before, and the DA is growing. The DA is almost reaching 2 million votes. standing at 23%. For the DA, that is still a good results because last time their biggest was 22. Last elections they lost, they went back to 20. But now standing at 23, the DA has grown. And the surprise of them all, the MK party. MK is about to break the 1 million votes. I had hoped we would be seeing KZN and some other provinces. Let me just check Limpopo, because okay, Limpopo is on 44%. There are no changes. They were on 44 the last time. But Limpopo, unless I'm not being honest, I think it was they were not on 73. There might have been a slight change in Limpopo, the counting, because I think they were not on 73. Anyway, something is going on here because as ANC is pushing in Limpopo, the MK is also pushing in KZN, which is giving them a big problem. Nationally, there is a big problem now with how the ANC is performing. MK really is a party that many had never thought it would be doing this. They are almost at 1 million. And on the comment, change yours from national to provincial. Would it show? Okay, no, maybe you are right. Of course, I stopped changing it when I saw. Okay, maybe you might be right. Oh, thanks, man. I needed this. I had been on national all along. That's why I was struggling. Oh, thank you very much. Should have thought about this long time. Thank you for suggesting that. But finally, under provincial, Gauteng is showing they are on 51.59%. I've been struggling about this, but finally, Gauteng on 51.59%, and they are on 33. The ANC, the DA 29, the EFF on 12. So the ANC is yet to reach that 1 million, while the DA is also about to reach 600,000, and the EFF is trying to go and reach 300,000 also. But the surprise of them all again, the MK party going for 200,000 votes in Gauteng alone. This is something that the ANC never expected. Ramaphosa at one point went and said that there are fake parties who are trying to intimidate us while he was in KZN, and he said they're all going to die. The ANC will not lose. I wonder what he's going to say now, because the ANC is losing and will lose Gauteng province. And now, and by the way, guys, if ever the stream is lagging or is buffering, please let me know, because I'm just on my computer and phone in case I am not aware of it. Sometimes it keeps doing this after an hour or two while we're streaming. So you can let me know if you ever experience some problems. So now in Gauteng, MK party is doing good, and even actually Herman Mashaba is doing good in Gauteng. Also 78,000 of the votes. It's something to admire. He's doing good. The VF Plus, the PA, you would have expected them in Gauteng to have a lot more votes. We are halfway there. Maybe they're going to increase while time goes. And Rise Mzansi on 19,000, 17,000 for IFP, and Bosa at 14,000. Safe to say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The top 7 are the ones who are going to decide Gauteng. And ANC should be very worried, because having DA, EFF, MK Party, and Action SA means someone is going to put them out. On the comment section, MK smell of fish from Tabo. I feel you. MK just surprised people this time. They did. What about the Eastern Cape? Say we will go to the Eastern Cape. Actually, we'll do all the provinces since I was on national and wasn't aware that I should be on provincial. Hoto says EFF now needs to change its policies. The land issue and illegal immigrants killed them. It's time to scrap off those two. Impossible. They are not going to agree on that. Malema once called the MK a non-existence party. Well, they are number 3. And I honestly, I honestly doubt EFF will change their stance on those issues. I agree. I don't think they will also. But then that is Gauteng. So let us start from top to bottom and just check each and every province, because this would be very interesting. Let us start up. We have already checked Gauteng, and this is the Eastern Cape, mind you. I'm on provincial, so it does seem like Eastern Cape is not showing under provincial. Let's check it under national. Eastern Cape. Okay, Eastern Cape is showing under national, but not under provincial. I think the system is not doing us justice, the system of IEC. So if you check it under national, the Eastern Cape region, they're on 65%, with the ANC getting 65.76. This time, there's no way of defeating the ANC in Eastern Cape. Apparently, people are saying that there is a lot of problem in the Eastern Cape in terms of service delivery. So if the people of Eastern Cape continue to vote the ANC, even though they are facing problems, then it means they don't see what we are seeing. I heard that they're voting for Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki. How do you really focus on leaders who have passed? Some of them, well, Thabo Mbeki is still alive, but still he's not really active in politics. But if you are going to vote for their names, then really those people, they don't deserve sympathy if they continue voting for people who are not delivering. But maybe we are watching from outside and they know what they are voting for. The DA received 12% with 130 votes. The EFF got 99,000, almost at 100,000, receiving 9.75%, with the UDM following up at number 4, 33,000 votes at 3.31%. And the PA also getting good amount of votes, amounting to 2% at 22,000 votes, with the ATM sitting just above the MK party at 14,001% of the votes. One would have expected UDM and ATM to really do better because that is their province. And MK party, 13,000, just free 13,000 votes from the Eastern Cape. That's how you know Zuma is very influential. He received 1% so far from the Eastern Cape, which will be very good for him because it will assist a lot. PAC, Action SA, and down there they have received less amount of votes. Quado, I still don't see EFF losing grounds from the results. The strong showing of MK is as a result of ANC losing ground. MK is taking votes from ANC and not the EFF. This time, 2019, where was the EFF? Unfortunately, we won't know where the EFF was this time. But your point on thinking the EFF is not going to lose grounds. Since yesterday, we spoke about the fact that the EFF is losing. And now what the EFF, we are looking for them is, can they pass the 10%? That is the question, because we are not on less than 20% of the votes. We have reached the halfway. And if we are still wondering if they are going to be doing better at over 50%, then we should really be worried, because you have Limpopo and KZN, and it's not doing justice to the EFF. So that issue basically it's very complex. And Kanyakwezi, I think that the ANC should be kept out. MKPA and EFF should should form a pact and approach the DA moonshot pact and aim for keeping the ANC as an opposition with them sharing administration of departments. That's a good point. That's a good point because that is the only solution to taking out the ANC. If not, and then the DA will just go out of the way and work with the ANC. Matsena, this is not a win for the ANC, even if they remain on top, but they are losing gradually, and it will finally be on its knees. According to me, EFF did not get affected if MK is still on top. Okay. Okay, Zola, go and drink some water, man. Togozis, thank you, man. Where is the MK on your board? Currently, MK is down here in Eastern Cape. Let us then go to another province. The Free State. Okay, I mustn't forget to keep changing if I don't see it under provincial to keep changing. And okay, the Free State, let's see under provinces. Is gonna be a lot of work this. So they're on 52 under provincial. What does it say under national? I want to make sure. You see, national they are on 53 with 77 votes, and provincial, the Free State provincial. Okay, unfortunately, Free State is not showing under provincial. That's fine. Let's get it under the national. The Free State region, 77% of the votes done. And when you look at it, there's 53% for the ANC. Just a second, guys. So we basically on 53% on the ANC and 21% for the DA having 100,000 votes, 124, and the ANC has 300 votes. EFF is on 13% with 77,000 in the Free State, and followed by the Freedom Front Plus on 19,003%. MK got 13,000 of the votes. Again, MK is doing numbers. So MK having 2% of the votes with 13,000 is very good for the party of Jacob Zuma. And there is PA, ATM, and Action SA going down there. If you want to see, there is Saudi there. Saudi is still on 0.48 at the Free State. And unfortunately, when you check it under national, it doesn't show Isma Khashule, but I'm sure if we were able to check provincially, it was going to show. Let's start it again. Okay, it still doesn't show. The province of Gauteng, we checked it, and the province of KZN. Luckily, it's showing under provincial. So under provincial, the KZN's, it's still at 43% for the MK party. And ANC staying at 18%, while the IFP is at 17%. And we are on 44%. Remember, that issue of saying that Limpopo and KZN are going to be deciders, we are not even halfway, but you can see MK is getting a lot of votes. If they get 600 more from the remaining 60% of calculations, if they get another 600, then it's a disaster for the ANC, because the ANC would then need to do more than they're doing now with just 237,000 of the votes being at number 2 with 18%. And the DA is down there with just 14%. at 185, and unfortunately for the EFF, the differences between the top four and them, it's too big. Look at number 4, the EFF. I mean the DA standing at 185 with 14%, but the EFF is still on 27,000 with 2%, which takes us to that issue of EFF and MK coalition, where I said the only possibility is that if MK and EFF work together, they need to take the IFP with them or the DA. And the possible one they should take would be the DA, because they are still going to need each other in Gauteng. So working together as the three would make sense, so that even in Gauteng they can still form a coalition and say that whoever we gave the position of premier in KZN, this time we're given to a different province. And remember, in Mpumalanga, there's also an opportunity unless the percentage have changed. On the comments, Masa, MK is not taking votes from the EFF, but from IFP and the ANC. I'm not sure if you are referring to provincially in KZN or you are speaking about national, but if you're speaking about KZN, of course, they are not taking them from EFF. They're taking them from the rest, but also EFF, it's not doing good at 27,000. One would have thought maybe it should have been doing a bit more than that. As we go down, you can see that as we go down, you can see that there is the NFP, which used to do good in KZN, but now it is not doing them any justice. That is the KZN, and there's an independent candidate, Moodley, with sunglasses on 0.33%. At least he got more votes than Action SA, the PA, Al Jama, ATM, and Bosa and Raz Mzanzi. These two are a very huge disappointment. Musi and Raz, I think they, even in Gauteng, where we thought they were going to have a lot of support, they are still struggling. As you go down, there's Mpumalanga, which I spoke about, and there you have it. In Mpumalanga also, the MK has received a lot of votes, reaching a mark of 100,000 for the MK party. It's excellent job. And remember, Zuma was campaigning, but he was not campaigning as much as most of these guys were. In Mpumalanga, with just 63%, Zuma has done well to get 17%, which is a disruption to the ANC. Now, if we do want to go, would go back to that issue of the relationship between MK, the DA, and the EFF. As of now, the 17% of MK combined with the 2 of DA and EFF would then need most of the political parties to join in forces so that they can say that let us take the province of Mpumalanga, so that if we take it, then it means the ANC has been restricted in GP, KZN, and MP. If only the decision would be that DA, do not work with the ANC. Let us try and make sure that we are taking everything away from the ANC. If they decide on that, then I don't see why they should not work with each other, because there's a lot of provinces to share. They can just say that, let us share all these provinces so that everyone can be satisfied, give each other these provinces, and there won't be a need to work with the ANC. I mean, at 48, if it goes down to 48.0, there is a huge possibility to boot out the ANC unless someone really wants to please the ANC. I'm sure Northern Cape is done by now. Yeah, 99.59 complete. Again, the ANC has grown this time because last time they were beat down, but still they are not over 50%. If everybody wanted to take out the ANC, now they are losing 4 provinces. And having 49, if really the mission was take out the ANC at 49, they can still do it. They can still put out the ANC and just make sure that they are nowhere to be seen. Look at how the DA has done in the Northern Cape, getting 21,000 with 83,000 votes. It is a good thing, and followed by the EFF with 51, 13%. And there is PA, which also received good amount of votes at 8%, 34,000 number of votes, Freedom Front Plus, and MK again, free 3,000 votes. The reason I say free 3,000 is because there are provinces where MK was not visible in terms of campaigning. And if you were not visible in certain provinces and you get votes, those are freebies because they came even when you were not expecting them. So to have 0.79 impacts the national in a good way for Jacob Zuma and the MK party. Now, Action SA is on 2,000, together with Good at 1,000, Hope for SA, ACDP, Cope, Bossa 900, haven't broke the 1,000 mark. Together, PAC Rise going down. That is the Northern Cape. And back to Limpopo with their 47, also the same as KZN. They have not yet reached the 50% mark. I said Limpopo and KZN are a bit slow in counting, and which is going to be the final decider. Limpopo ANC is increasing, and when you look at a province like KZN, that is where the MK is increasing. So at the last minute, we are going to be there's going to be a competition between Limpopo and KZN, Ramaphosa and Zuma. Forget about the rest of the parties. There's no focus on them. Even DA, there's no focus on them. The focus is on 2 parties, the father and the baby, the ANC and MK. The ANC stronghold is in Limpopo at the moment, and the MK is in KZN. KZN is bigger than Limpopo in terms of the number of voters. Now, it would depend on how the ANC would do in Limpopo. If they increase further, maybe it will do them justice, but compared to the MK, which is ruling that place called KZN, it's going to be a disaster for the ANC because the more MK goes down, it means it is a big problem for the ANC. Getting 73.50% means the people of Limpopo are like the people of Eastern Cape. To them, ANC is the best thing that ever happened to them. That is why you see a former chairperson of the EFF, Butani, celebrating this achievement, saying that we are whipping them, we are back. Because getting 73 to them is a big win, and it's something to celebrate. EFF is number 2 at 12%, 80,000 votes, with the DA at 6%, 41,000 votes, followed by Freedom Front Plus. And again, 6,000 votes, almost 6,000 for MK, with the artist Papa Penny. He had an influence regarding the MK. So having 5,000 is doing justice again to the number of the MK party. So the rest of the party, UAT, Action SA, going down there, it is not a lot of votes at the moment. They're just having a 1% and 0%. The Northwest, they are running at 58%, 58.29% done. And if you look at it, ANC is at 59, so there's no taking out the ANC. Then ANC should know that in Limpopo they are safe, in Northwest they are safe. As you can see, 59, there's no way it's going to go any way down. The EFF again, they're number 2 with 17%, and 75,000 votes, followed by the DA at number 3, 12%, 53,000 votes. So now the Freedom Front Plus is there at number 4, and again, MK Party. Now they are on 1.81% in terms of the votes, and they got 8,000 votes. Action SA at 6,000 and 1.42%. Lastly, the Western Cape. I'm just trying to speak to the service provider regarding the connections that keeps interrupting us. The Western Cape currently, as I'm trying to just type, guys, the Western Cape currently is sitting at 72%, at 72% with the DA number 1 on 55, and the ANC at number 2, 18%, with the PA on number 3, 9%. Which tells us that in Western Cape, as they are nearing completion, there won't be coalition unless someone says, if you don't give us a chance in Western Cape, we won't support you on other provinces, because the DA is leading comfortably at 55%, with the EFF going at number 4, getting 57,000 at 4%. Going back to the national, guys, this is the update so far. It has been updated, and the MK are closer to reaching that 1 million mark. I am not sure, because we keep going to the numbers. As the EFF increased, were they not on 50 something, 9.50 something percent? Have they not decreased? Because now we are seeing 9.48. Because it does seem like the EFF has just decreased their numbers, as you see that 9.48%. So looking at it, the MK is still becoming a force. I mean, MK, last time I checked, they were on 11.11%. Now they are sitting at 11.52. The ANC should be crying. The ANC should be concerned about this issue, because having MK at 11.52 and you are still running around on 41.88. Last time they were 41.90 something. It's a big disaster for the ANC. A very huge disaster. Even the leadership is probably complaining about the fact that maybe it's finally over for us. And that rich history, combined with that rich track record of corruption, has not done them any justice. The ANC is about to lose all the years that they've been dominating. There's a phrase, 2024 is our 1994. It seems to be making sense now. It's making sense because no one ever expected the ANC to be sitting where they are now. Tira, can other parties create a coalition without ANC and have a president? It's very possible. It's very, very possible. And Mogoeng should really be the one to come and do this thing. He deserves the seat. They need an independent person who can come and take this seat from the ANC. And then let me check the comments. Sivuno, Zuma was smart enough by not revealing their policy mandate. Everyone was willing to gamble their votes for MK, particularly in KZN and MP. As for EFF, Bora has done them badly. And then Mthokozisi says Ramaphosa fast-tracked the dwindling of the ANC. Horse, the past 30 years has finally caught up with the ANC. Now, maybe the expiry date of the ANC was 30 years. Maybe we did not know the expiry date. Maybe that is how the death of ANC was set up. Maybe they drafted that the last president would be Ramaphosa. I mean, imagine if ANC had won. Who would be the president after Ramaphosa leaves? I mean, Paul Mashatile. It seems like they are running short of leadership. So the only thing for them is to go and sit at the back while they are grooming the young leaders. And after 30 years, maybe ANC can come back and they can be voted in, because this is the start of the history for ANC. They are going to be written in the books of South Africa as that former good movement of Nelson Mandela, but Ramaphosa would be responsible for the loss of the ANC. But not just him. Zuma is also responsible because he made sure that ANC loses a lot of votes. Sitting at a million for Zuma, the MK party, it is very good. And as much as he's not going to parliament, Jacob Zuma is going to be running the show from the back. And it will be good to see. But it won't be justice if the people of South Africa are not getting service delivery. Sen says Ramaphosa and his cabinet must just resign. It's over. There's no resigning. The new cabinet is coming. It's over. They must just resign there in the ANC. Nationally, it's over. There's no longer ANC. There's no longer a cabinet. It's done. And Mthokozisi's expiry date, 29 May 2024, of course, it expired. Ubuga, for sure, Mthogo, it's 2905. ANC, MK, and EFF for government. No, it's not possible. And you know why? Because Ramaphosa and Zuma, there are issues. So if they are to work together, Zuma would say, let us get rid of Ramaphosa. Let Ramaphosa resign and we can work together. And if they do that, Zuma would push for Ramaphosa to go to jail. He would push for him to be arrested for Phala Phala. Remember, Zuma wants to settle the score with Ramaphosa. You took me to jail as a former president. Once they work together, Ramaphosa resigns, Ramaphosa must go to jail and experience what Zuma did, because Zuma doesn't stop speaking about the judiciary and how he was taken to jail. Bringer, Begitele has been really quiet. I don't like it. I mean, how do you not get quiet when Kwanazi would probably be getting your job? If not the job, maybe they're going to make him take that Masemola position. He knows that his days are numbered. No one would want him after so many years where we have been battling with crime. And Sis Mbags, I don't think he's capable of running. Sis Mbags. So basically, nationally, it's a disaster for the ANC, no matter how they want to put it. No one is voting the ANC at this point, and everyone is running towards the MK. 41%, we would have never thought about it. But of course, the ANC of Ramaphosa has lost a lot of votes, and it's over for them. I just want to take 1 minute break, guys. I'll be back.
so wrong.
That is wala MK national.
Uyakususa nje.
That's provincial. Wala MK.
Wrong.
That's region.
Wrong nje. Ufuna i-ANC wena ma. Hey, so wrong.
That is wala MK national.
Uyakususa nje.
That's provincial. Wala MK.
Wrong.
That's region.
Wrong nje. Ufuna i-ANC wena ma. Hey, so wrong.
That is wala MK national.
Uyakususa nje.
That's provincial. Wala MK.
Wrong.
That's region.
Wrong nje. Ufuna i-ANC wena ma. Hey, so wrong.
That is wala MK national.
Uyakususa nje.
That's provincial. Wala MK.
Wrong.
That's region.
Wrong nje. Ufuna i-ANC wena ma. Hey, so wrong.
That is wala MK national.
Uyakususa nje.
That's provincial. Wala MK.
Wrong.
That's region.
Wrong nje.
Okay, guys, I'm back. The comments. Musa says, I'm disappointed by EFF Shem. That borderless nonsense created this underperformance. Bukosi, I can't wait to see Zuma back in parliament. More comedy. No, he's not going to be in parliament. Remember, the judgment said that for the next 5 years, he's not going to participate in government, and he cannot be the leader of the MK. He cannot be the president of MK. So, which means after the elections, they will have to decide now who's the leader of the MK. I think Zuma will be playing a role from the back because he's not allowed because of that 12-month sentence he received if you didn't follow it. So don't expect him in parliament, but Duduzile, definitely she's going to parliament. And I think there would be a lot of chaos. Remember, ANC, if they lose that majority and there is a coalition where they kick the ANC out, the chaos that we have been witnessing is not done. Imagine Gauteng. Imagine Gauteng, the EFF, when fighting about issues, even the MK. Imagine the chaos. I am only feeling sorry for whoever who's going to be chosen as the speaker in parliament. They need Thandi Modise. They need the likes of Thandi Modise, but because of the fact that ANC would have been booted out, I think that is where the issue is going to be. Who can be able to withstand the problem that is going to come in parliament? Because whoever is chosen for that position will have to deal with Gauteng. He's going to have to answer to Mama Hambe every day and night. Tony, MK harmed EFF more than ANC. I think you are right on that. As much as we don't want to admit, some people don't want to admit it, MK did not only steal votes from the ANC. MK took votes from a lot of people. A huge number is from the ANC, but there is also a percentage. I'm saying this because nationally, looking at how things are going, the EFF is yet to reach 1 million, and the MK is there by 1 million. So if you check, let us go to 2019 just to check how the EFF did. In 2019, the EFF received 1,882,480. So now, and the DA got 3.6. The ANC getting 10. Now, when you look at it, of course, the voter turnout now is the biggest as compared to 2019. But having 1.8 and now sitting at almost 800,000, one would say if you double it, it's going to give us 1.6. So it's safe to say the EFF probably is not going to get the same votes they got in 2019. So which gives us an idea that there is a possibility that the EFF is losing votes. If we are being honest, Because if I don't use that narrative, how would I reach the fact that they are losing them? Because 1.8 as compared to 60% complete, and they are still on 800,000. Is it possible to have a million with that 40% to go? I don't think it's possible. So, which means there is a loss of votes, which the leadership needs to acknowledge and see a way forward. Because I can't wait to see the Zuma back in Parliament. Okay, I've read this. Is there any possibility of DA joining hands? KZN, KwaZulu-Natal. We don't want DA anyway, not even in Western Cape. 2019, we kicked DA out of Western Cape. That's why I don't like Begitele. Can I ask what really was the decider on this election? Tsiga, I think that question, what made people vote for MK or DA? These two have improved this time. I think maybe people believed people are hurtful with the ANC, and the introduction of Zuma provided people with an alternative. And DA, one thing we undermine about the DA is that people love them. It doesn't matter whether there's an issue of them just not caring about the black colors, the black voters. People love the DA. And even if their image is tainted, like the burning of the flag, it just shows that a lot of people prefer the DA than other parties. So I think they are gaining support because of the love on the ground. Sweet revenge from Zuma to the EFF because they really thought he was going to endorse them. I don't know about that. I think we are still going to hear a lot. And remember, endorsing Zuma endorsing the EFF. Remember, Julius had a meeting with Zuma last year before he launched the MK party, and I think what Julius said is that we spoke about a lot of things before the launching, and we agreed that we are going to talk after the results. So there's still going to be some conversation and agreements between the two. 1,000 people voting for a party cannot happen. 1,000 people voting for a party. Let's be honest, guys. These small parties are the problem, though. I don't really understand why people don't like DA. Their areas are better run, not perfect, but not collapsed like others. And so Zuma is going to run like the king of MK. Send his team to parliament and they come report to him. Correct. It's going to happen like that because that's the only way they can continue. How does he go and get such a lot of support and next thing, he doesn't play a role in the decisions? So basically, Zuma will play a big role in how things are run. And one thing you must know about Jacob Zuma is that when coming to negotiating, you don't play with him. Even Ramaphosa will be sweating on Sunday. Because on Sunday, all the leaders would be there at the IEC Center. They will be there to look at the results. And I would think Ramaphosa shouldn't come because, it's going to be sad for him. Gwere is already complaining about the fact that tribalism in KZN because of the votes we see. As you can see, let me just refresh one last time. Maybe. Okay. The refreshing is providing us with good results. You see, we just refreshed and now we are on 60%, right? And 60% gives us ANC still standing at 41. They haven't changed. And the DA on 23, they are still having their highest number since they started contesting. And MK is the only party that seems to be growing. MK is going for 12. MK is on 11.60%, going for 12, and the EFF has crossed the 800 mark, but the results remain the same. They are still there. They are not going up. And now they are fighting against reaching 10%. So I spoke about can they get 1 million votes in the next 40%? Because that would be amounting to what they received in 2019. We'll see as time goes. So the IFP on 240, just 2%. And the people who are going to parliament, like the PA, Gauteng is getting votes. I'm interested to see if Gauteng is going to go as far as 500,000. Because if he goes there, the people of South Africa listen to him and they got the message. So Action SA closer to 100,000 with just 1.11%. ACDP sitting at 52% with 0.61% and UDM at 0.52. As you can see, guys, Rise Mzansi there, Bossa. Rise Mzansi, Bossa, and Triple C are yet to get 1% also. These are the guys who are competing here. So nationally, there are a lot of movements, and the only party to talk about, I mean, who would have thought that in 2024, last year, November, no one spoke about Jacob Zuma. Last year, November, the party to take the second position, the party to look for was the EFF. And MK came in December. Now people started speaking different tunes. And the ANC will regret losing the battles against MK and Zuma in court. Those would be the defining moments which could have saved the ANC. They lost each and every battle they fought against the MK party, which when they look back, they are going to regret ever losing. If ever there was a judge to pay, those were the time they should have used the money, because it's a shame to see. Let us go back to the provinces, guys. The comments are Jada says EFF only problem is open borders that caused him to do so bad. Arrogance, he's staying behind security, and he arrogantly says we can keep our votes. That's what we did. So he didn't vote for the EFF. And Kanyekwezi from DA down to Action SA is 49%. I'm sure if number 2 to 7 come together, a non-ANC president, you are absolutely right about that. Dan says Julius live Zuma. Oh, like Zuma so much, give him the win. And Tokozani, Eastern Cape tribalism also. Of course, Eastern Cape, Limpopo too. No party must join with ANC. No one is willing to accept that we are all tribalist. Yeah, that last one makes sense. Okay, let's check this. National, the Eastern Cape, there someone is saying is a tribalist. That is tribalist votes also. But tribalist how? There is the DA and 9% for the EFF. Maybe these people just love the ANC. They just love it. And look at how much they gave them, 65% and 12%. I mean, would you really vote someone based on the fact that it's about tribalism, even when you see that the roads are not being well kept, kids are attending school in mud classes? Would you still just focus on the fact that this is our person, instead of saying that we need people who are going to take care of us? I mean, to be honest, if the DA decides we are going to bring good service delivery to everyone, regardless of the color of the skin, I mean, next election would just give them over 60% based on what they did, because at the end, it's not about pleasing one's color or one's ethnicity. It's about, are they really looking at the problem we are facing? So the DA got 12%, while the EFF got almost 100,000. And then they are trying to reach 10% of the Eastern Cape, having done 65.04% complete. And if really tribalism really was the cause of the votes, UDM would really be number 2 or number 3. And ATM would also be up. So that is where you see that maybe sometimes it's just the love for the ANC. They are blinded. Someone is blinding them. And they forget to make a change, or they are. And let us go to the Free State. Ngamalala is a mastermind of politics. No one is okay. Yeah, you're right. He knows the chess game. We just love the ANC guys. Infrastructure in SA was fine till we had more than 4 parties. And then, Bond, this is a bad time to shift government to a new party like MK. The world is on fire. USA for ANC. Next election, I hope we will be united. This can change South Africa for everyone, Lizelle. Being united is something that we need, because now we are looking at the ANC getting worried, and of course people try to be united, and being united is voting against the current government. So the next time, maybe being united would be to just look at who really is doing some good changes, and then they can unite on that person. The Free State, ANC sitting at 53%. That is another province where they are not shaken. Even though they lose national, but definitely provinces like the Free State, rest assured ANC won't have any sleepless nights, including the Eastern Cape. DA on 124,000 and having 21%, with the EFF third on 77%. Sorry, 77,000, 13%. And you have the VF Plus at 19,000, 3%. MK having 2% with 13,000. And that is the Free State. Let's check Gauteng. Hopefully there's been some changes. I would need to then check it under provincial. Gauteng under provincial. So there are 51. I think there's not a lot of change here. The ANC still sits at number 1 with 33. And the DA resilient at 29.16%. EFF at 12%, 247,000 votes. MK number 4 at 180 with 9%. It's not only KZN where they are showing people flames. Even in Gauteng, MK is doing a good job where they are at 180 with 9%. And when you go down, you have Action SA with 78,000 of the votes and amounting to 4%. Next election, okay. Thokozani, UDM lack of resources, shame. UDM should find a new leader, I think. Tata Msholozi, Tata Pakaba, Ngamalala, Viva Mkondo Wesizwe. I'm damn sure you voted for them. How much money did Bossa lose campaign? Bossa is like Rise Mzansi, but I think Rise Mzansi received a huge amount of money. The Oppenheimers gave them money, and they gambled with it by trying to be politicians, because where we are standing, their only goal would be to have 1 seat in parliament. millions, millions they received just for one seat. Oh, that's a problem. It's like they spend millions to take Songezo to parliament. Only one man to parliament. Unless things change, he might even lose an opportunity to go to parliament at this point. Hopefully things change for him, but those millions could have changed this world. It could have changed South Africa. Maybe a community could have been changed. But of course, they took one man to parliament. Their main aim was to be president, but they can't even get 50,000 votes. And there is IFP also in Gauteng struggling, including Musi Maiman is also Bossa. They are not doing good in Gauteng. Al Jama ATM PAC. Yeah, no, the rest are just coming to the party because you have people as low as 136. This one is an independent candidate, got 136. So that is Gauteng province. EFF was using a blue non-branded food market gazebo as a political tent in my area in Polokwane. And that's the third biggest party in South Africa. They were using what? A blue non-branded food market gazebo. Okay, this is KZN. With how many votes? Now 44.89. And Msholos is on 43%, followed by the ANC sitting at 18%, with 17% going to the IFP. Still a long way to go, but I believe that by tomorrow morning, really, most of the provinces should be waiting for just 5% to complete, because I don't think it should go as far as Saturday night before we know what's going on. But since 50% has been reached, we know what the outcome would be. Would be the ANC won't even reach 45% nationally. As you can see, MK has just surprised them, shocked everyone. And you have the IFP at least doing 17%, competing with the ANC, while the DA standing at 14% with such a huge number of votes. 185 is good, but 14% they're still trying. And EFF, unfortunately, Marshall Dlamini would have to wait for another 5 years to try and become a premier, because 2% is not doing them justice. And that would be calling for the DA to enter the chart and probably join in forces with the MK party. And says DA will open floodgates for Europeans to colonize African again. Okay. Again, the Sahel region will lose their independence again, and France will recolonize them. SA would be a huge NATO army base. I don't know about that. I don't know about that then. And I think it's no longer before 1994. We are not like before. If they ever tried anything, they will regret ever attempting that. And here is the Mpumalanga region still struggling also below 50. And it's only one reason why Mpumalanga is struggling. Zuma has entered the chart. Zuma has just taken 125,000 votes belonging to the ANC, which meant the collapse of ANC. Had Zuma not entered the race, there would be like 60% for the ANC, or even 70. So Mpumalanga would be a big. Let us see so that we can compare. Look, in Mpumalanga they got 84% in 1999. That's huge. They went to 86, more than the previous elections. Thabo Mbeki got 86,000. 86%. What am I saying? And in 2009, when Msholozi came in, they got 85. And when Ramaphosa came in 2020, no, it was still Zuma. Zuma again got 78. And when Ramaphosa came, he got 70. They have never went below 70. And Zuma left and came in new colors, and they went below 50. So which tells you that the rest of the percentage were taken from the ANC by MK, meaning had MK not taken this, they would be on 70 by now. So unfortunately, MK is the downfall of the ANC. Maybe that is what people have all been waiting for all this time. Kwaza Mkondo Kwaza. PLKSK Julius Malema is breaks right now, no pun intended. And Dan Bondier is still the old National Party. Please guys click the like button if you can, as we go down on the political parties. So let's go to Northern Cape. I hope they complete this anytime soon, because they're still on 99. They're still trying to see how can we slot in 0.80%, because the first results that are going to tell us the ANC has lost a province is the Northern Cape. Let's see how they did. Okay, they have never lost Northern Cape before, and they're about to lose it. In 2019, the ANC got 57.54 in the Northern Cape, and now it seems like they have 49.26. They're still finding numbers there. They're still trying to find another number to add. I don't think it's going to happen. And again, this time maybe it's not because of MK, but it's because of parties like the Patriotic Alliance. PA came in and got 8%, 34,000 votes. Also, don't forget the EFF, 51,000, 13%. And of course, the DA keeps becoming a force, number 2, and they have 21,000. We are almost about to know if ANC in their history have lost the Northern Cape. They are cooking pots. They are trying to make sure that things are making sense. We must be back in about an hour or so. We should know finally, has the ANC lost or what is going on? Avashoni says, where is Mbalula? Kanti I hope he's eating humble pie wherever he is. Mbalula, shame, he used to speak a lot, and they never told him to tone down. They just let him. I think the issue with Mbalula, they probably sent him and said, Julius speaks a lot and he's always on the news. You must do the same way Julius is doing and make sure that you overtake him. And unfortunately, Mbalula, as a member of a big party like ANC, he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. Sometimes you just keep quiet, because the more you speak bad about someone, you are giving them a lot of airtime. And I think people like Mbalula contributed to Zuma being as big as he is. He kept on attacking, and people felt sorry for Zuma. And today, really, is going to be regretting the first SG of ANC to lose it national. The first president of ANC to lose it national. The first province they've just lost is the Northern Cape, unless they are cooking nice pots by the Northern Cape with just 0.41% to go. Darling, absolutely. The MK is definitely not good for investor confidence. And Tato Masuku, both EFF and MK are willing to form a coalition with ANC, but Ramaphosa must be out as an imperialist. The question is, will he agree to leave? The more MK wins and ANC lose, the rand weakens. The question is Ramaphosa going to agree to leave? The last time he wanted to leave was when they uncovered the Pala money. But they told him not to go. I don't think they will allow him to leave. So it's going to be difficult unless he willingly resigns because of the results. Okay, we are still on Limpopo. Limpopo sitting at 53, now they're making progress. Limpopo is making progress at 53% complete. And the ANC, they are continuing. They are rising. The ANC is helping the Limpopo people are helping ANC increase in votes because they went from 73 to 74, while the EFF is still on 12%. Hopefully they will rise and go to 13. And again, do you guys think in Limpopo maybe, do you guys think the EFF did good or bad in Limpopo? Considering their last rally was in Limpopo, the Tselatupa rally. Do you think the 12% of the EFF was a good one, or did they disappoint in terms of the province of Limpopo? What do you guys think? I'm just going to take a minute again, guys. We'll be back. Less than a minute. I'm back, guys. As the question stands, has the EFF done well or not? Also, EFF now needs to change its policies. The issue and illegal immigrants killed them, and it's time to scrap off those two. Okay, that's okay. Absolutely, the MK is definitely not good for investors. We have read it. EFF doesn't have a province to offer for the removal of Ramaphosa. MK does. Okay. So, as we were on Limpopo, and now we go to the Northwest. And Northwest is sitting at 59% for the ANC, meaning this one, it's a safe zone also for them. So sitting at 59 with the EFF at 17%, the DA having received 12%. You can see that even there's MK with 1.81%. It's good to see how MK is always doing well in all the provinces. Even in the Northwest, they are still showing numbers. They are still showing that they're here to play. So it's good to see that, and hopefully they keep on increasing because they are the only solution, the savior for a lot of political parties, because without them, no one is going to do what is needed to be done. In the Northwest, the MK, as you see, 1.81, Action SA sitting at 1%, 1.42, together with F4SD at 0.83, the PA it's 0.70. I wonder what is the reaction of Gauteng at what is going on, because I did see the reaction of the EFF to IEC. Let's see if Gauteng is saying something about what's going on. Of course, he's gonna say something. Unfortunately, okay, let's see. Los Meilat Ekhail, Northern Cape got 3 seats in legislature. Thank you, God, for opening the eyes of our people. Not all, but sufficient number. Salute. Of course, he's happy about it. And yeah, he's happy about it. He's going to be happy the whole day because the PA having received such votes. Let's see the EFF. The PA having received such a lot of votes. Of course, he's going to be very happy about it. Okay, this is a podcast for the EFF. And the issue